Welcome to Dark Academia, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Dark academia have become so famous via social media sites such as Instagram and TikTok. Teenagers and young adults have found a way to share their own passion for learning. Followers of the dark academia read and watch the adaptations of classical novels, but period dramas in boarding schools, shallowly lit books and revolt among young people are also fodder. As in films, the brooding aesthetic includes deeply grey, stone greys, and blood red scarlets with a neutral but dark palette color. Now, here are the top 10 dark academia movies to watch. Number 1. Dead Poets Society. The Dead Poets Society is a teenage American movie written by Tom Schulman and starring Robin Williams and directed by Peter Weir in 1989. Set in 1959, it tells the story of an English teacher who inspires his students by his instruction of poetry at the fictitious prestigious conservative Vermont boarding school of the Welton Academy. The main themes of this film are poetry, compassion and passion, and the overall message is carpe diem, warming and tragic. The film shows the value of the best way to express oneself. The Dead Poets Society is a must-watch. In addition to in social criticism, it also draws invaluable statements on inequality, friendship, youth and schooling.
About the business of achieving other ambitions. A little secret for you. Huddle up. Huddle up! We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are
Number 2. Mona Lisa Smile. The 2003 American drama film Mona Lisa, directed by Mike Newell and produced by Lawrence Connor and Mark Rosenthal and starring Julia Roberts, Kirsten Dunst, Julia Stiles, and Maggie Gyllenhaal, was made by Revolution Studios and Columbia Pictures in collaboration with Red Arm Films Productions. The title refers to the Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci's famous painting. A nonconformist teacher inspires students to follow their aspirations on an all-female private school in the 1950s and to challenge the part that women can play in society. Catherine Watson, the young artistry lecturer, uses the outdated social forms of art. Watson inspires her students not only to follow the footsteps of tradition, but to develop their own story. In the case of her pupils, this means that a housewife's life does not only reflect their potential choice, but Watson is compelled to reassess her own expectations and ideas as she tries to teach her pupils. The major topics of this time include looking at life from a different perspective, challenging the status quo, representing women over the years, and proving that a woman is not right to be. Mona Lisa Smile is an optimistic and refined movie about the importance of education and the ability of a woman to choose her future. It's a smart historical drama that tells a fresh and inspiring tale.
I've heard her called a quitter for leaving, an aimless wanderer. But not all who wander are aimless, especially not those who seek truth beyond tradition, beyond definition, beyond the image.
Get the hell out of the way!
We'll never forget you.
Number 3. Maurice. The British romantic film Maurice is directed by James Ivory in 1987, based on E.M. Forster's novel Maurice in 1971. James Wilby, Maurice, Hugh Grant, Clive and Rupert Graves, Alec, are stars in the film. Denholm Elliott as Dr. Barry and Ben Kingsley as Laska Jones are among the cast. Maurice is E.M. Forster's book, a tale of gay love in England at the beginning of the 20th century. Maurice is well worth watching with its stellar cast and its gorgeous film, the benchmark of Merchant Ivory Productions. Maurice is definitely one of the best queer movies.
Durham, aren't you?
Yes?
I was looking for Risley. Don't know where he is.
He's debating at the Union. I was just stealing his pathetic symphony. I'm reading a paper on Tchaikovsky, but I cannot find the third movement. If it's here at all, which I don't think it is. Feaston Hayes got a pianola.
I know. His rooms are directly above mine.
Oh, well, I'll come back with you then. You're living in college now?
Beginning my second year.
I'm third. I have seen you, though. Hall, isn't it?
If Risley's not coming, perhaps I'd better get back.
I didn't know you knew Risley. He's a dangerous man. Little of him certainly goes a very long way.
You like this music?
I'm afraid I do, yes. Sweet water from a foul well, as they say.
Aye. Good waltz is more my style.
Mine too.
Number 4, Kill Your Darlings. In 2013, Kill Your Darlings is an American biographical thriller film directed at his film directorial debut by Austin Bunn and directed by John Crockett as 5-number Holmes Sherlock. Young Allen Ginsberg Daniel Radcliffe, rivaled in 1944 with Lucien Carr's dynamic classmate, Dane DeHaan, Carr, William Burroughs and Jack Kerouac, are detained for killing until their opponent is found dead. Kill Your Darlings is not the mystical figures of Future Beats, but a hedonistic young man with a literary passion.
You can't show this to anyone.
Can't tell the truth, Lou.
You weren't even there. It's your truth. It's fiction. You wanted him gone too. You sent him to me. Please, you kill me with that. Alan! No! Alan! No! Don't!
Number 5, Tolkien. Dom Kerikowski and David Gleason. Stephen Beresford's film Tolkien is an American drama for 2019. It is about the early years and remarkable scholarly works of the English teacher J.R.R. Tolkien, author of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. Nicholas Hoult, Colleen's, Minnie and Jacoby are the film stars in the movie. Tolkien is a storyteller and a close community of writers who are inspired by his work. His job and connection to his lover Edith during the Second World War is, however, threatened. The childhood of J.R.R. Tolkien was packed with the books, legends and lore that made him an imaginative poet. In the biopic, young Tolkien found fellowship inside a group of outcasts who, amid their parents' more realistic dreams of their future, dream of becoming singers, writers and artists. Tolkien loses his footing as a young adult and almost loses scholarship at Oxford University. He deals with a World War I outbreak of which he finally engages. These circumstances finally led him to compose The Lord of the Rings, his most famous masterpiece.
It's about wizards too.
Wizards?
Wizards, yes, and mountains, dragons, journeys.
Christopher, if you break your neck wearing those, I will not take you.
Number 6, Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice is a 2005 romantic movie drama directed by Joe Wright, based on Jane Austen's 1813 novel of the same name. In his feature directorial debut, the film portrays 5 sisters from an English landed gentry family who address love, morals and misunderstandings. Keira Knightley is Elizabeth Bennet's leading figure, while Mr. Darcy plays her love interest with Matthew Macfadyen. Mrs. Bennet demands her daughters search unsettled down rich husbands. Mrs. Bennet's pleasure knows no bounds as a rich bachelor begins living near you. The film is better than most romantic events of the period. It was set more early than average, at the end of the 1700s, than in the early Victorian years.
Oh, yes, I adore
It is a pity she's not more handsome.
Mama?
Oh, but Lizzie will never admit that she's plain. Of course, it's my Jane who is considered the beauty of the county. When she was only 15, there was a gentleman so much in love with her that I was sure he would make her an offer. However, he did write her some very pretty verses.
And that put pay to it. I wonder who first discovered the power of poetry in driving away love.
I thought the poetry was the food of love.
Of a fine, stout love, it may. But if it is only a vague inclination, I'm convinced one poor sonnet will kill it stone dead.
So what do you recommend to encourage affection?
Dancing. Even if one's partner is barely tolerable.
Number 7, Crimson Peak. The 2015 Gothic romantic film Crimson Peak, made by Del Toro and Matthew Robbins, is directed by Guillermo del Toro. The stars of this film are Tom Hiddleston, Mia Wasikowska, Jessica Chastain, Jim Beaver and Charlie Hunnam. This tale is set in England's Victorian period by an ambitious author who journeys with her new husband and his sister to a remote Gothic mansion in the English hills. There, beyond the ghostly dreams that plague her new home, she must decrypt the mystery. Edith ignores Sir Thomas Sharp's warning of her father. As she arrives at the mansion of Sharp, she hears about the mysteries of her husband and realizes that the house is full of foundresses. The film was full of beautiful graphics, excellent acting, good violence, and a good and clear plot. To be nice, a movie doesn't need an innovative storyline.
Edith.
You're leaving us.
We must return home immediately and attend to our interests. And with nothing to hold us in America.
I see.
Your novel. I read the new chapters. I'll have them delivered in the morning.
That's very good of you, thank you.
Would you still like to know my thoughts?
If we must.
It's absurdly sentimental. The aches that you describe with such earnestness, the pain, the loss. You clearly haven't lived at all. In fact, you only seem to know what other writers tell you.
That's enough!
You insist on describing the torments of love when you clearly know nothing about them. I'm not done yet! What do you dream of? A kind man? A pure soul to be redeemed? A wounded bird you can nourish? Affection. Affection has no place in love, Edith. I advise you to return to your ghosts and fancies. The sooner the better. You know precious little of the human heart, or love, or the pain that comes with it. You're nothing but a spoiled child.
Number 8, Black Swan. Black Swan is Darren Aronofsky's 2010 American psychological horror movie. Mark Heyman, John McLaughlin and Andres Hines wrote the screenplay based on an original Hines novel. The movie stars Natalie Portman, Winona Ryder, Vincent Cassel, Mila Kunis, and Barbara Hershey. The plot is based on a production of the New York City Ballet Company's Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake Ballet. The ballerina Nina, Princess Odette, is given a chance to play the White Swan. But when Thomas, the artistic director, thinks that Lily could better suit the role, she finds herself into folly.
You lost weight. Take off your shrug, please. Front. We're almost done. That's it. Okay. Done. Thank you very much.
Number 9, Dorian Gray. The Picture of Dorian Gray is a gothic and metaphysical novel written by Oscar Wilde in July 1890. He suggests that Dorian's attractiveness is the cause of the current atmosphere in Dorian's art as a painter, as Basil Hallward is a full-length portrait in oil. Dorian Gray is fascinated and infatuated with Dorian's beauties. Dorian encounters Lord Henry Wotton by Basil and soon will find him enthralled by the hedonistic vision of the world by the aristocrats. The only things in existence are elegance and sensual accomplishment. Newly discovering that the beauty is dying, Dorian wishes to sell his soul, to make sure that the portrait will mature and disappear rather than he. The wish is fulfilled and Dorian lives liberally with diverse and exquisite amoral experiences. All the time his portrait ages and registers every sin.
Give me the key. Look, give me the key. What's in there? What's in there?
You have my whole heart, Emily.
Leave her!
My whole heart.
Emily, I beg you.
Number 10. School Ties. School Ties is an American film directed by Robert Mandel in 1992 with an emphasis on Brendan Fraser, Ben Affleck, Anthony Rapp, Chris O'Donnell, Randall Batinkoff, and Andrew Lowry. School Ties centers around David, who in the 1950s was awarded a Catholic school football scholarship to all students. He impresses students and faculty easily, becomes a famous student and raises the social ladder. David faces the full force of bigotry when his Jewish heritage is exposed and is unfairly convicted of an offense that bears the punishment of expulsion. A very relevant tale of envy, the effects of silence, genuine self-reliance and religious bigotry.
A Jew!
Grow up, for Christ's sakes.
Oh, Maurice, you're so mature.
Garçon, plus low, s'il vous plaît.
Excuse me, there's no salt on this table. I need salt for my fruit. Oh, someone's not doing a menial job.
You know, it's so hard to find decent help these days.
Can't you move any faster, please? You care to step outside? I'll show you how fast I can.
David, come on! David, come on! David, come on! It's not worth it, David. It's not worth it, all right?
Look, my name is Richard Collins. What's yours, Reeseberg?
David, I'll work your table. You can take mine, all right? Listen, man, you need this job as much as I do. Come on, Green, don't float, all right?